Hello class, my name is Bridget Smart and today we're going to be discussing resolving ethical dilemmas, strategies, and techniques for managers. What is ethics? The American Society for Public Administration, established in 1939, commits high standards of ethical practice by public servants. The American Society for Public Administration Code of Ethics was originally created in 1994 and last revised in 2013. Ethics is a key branch of philosophy concerned with analyzing what is deemed right or wrong in people's behavior or conduct. In recent years, a concern of ethics has impelled organizations to provide ethics training for its management, personnel, and employees. Unfortunately, an overwhelming amount of unethical behavior in both public and private sectors are constantly being displayed on social media and televisions around the world. These accusations, whether true or false, damage the image of the respected organization. As a result, organizations place emphasis on ethics and values being the building block for a desirable and modern workplace. This also involves the decision making of managers. What should managers do while trying to resolve an ethical dilemma? For managers, ethics is only ethics when they're doing it. Public managers must be equipped to do what they cannot afford to eliminate and cannot legitimately delegate. Step 1. Take a harm adverse stand. Step 2. Admit that collective action is bound to hurt someone in some ways. Step 3. Reconcile steps 1 and 2. Ethical reasoning is a form of specialized problem solving. Its methods provide tools for making choices and equipment is standard on all models. Today we're going to discuss two models, one by Terry Cooper and the other by Laura Nash. Terry Cooper tells us that the ethical process means examining and ranking what is important, which are the values, and general rules for guiding action, which are the principles, in a given decision. Accepting the emotional component of people's decision making, Cooper set two goals for ethical managers. First, maintain a sense of integrity and avoid an ethical hangover when a decision is compatible with your self-image, which means if you do not agree with this particular decision, which could be right because of your own personal self-image, then that does not mean you're being ethical if you try to change it to match or align with your self-image. Number 2, scratch the moral imagination. Think outside of the box. Do not only use your personal perspective when making a decision. Terry Cooper's series of reasoning. Specify all conceivable alternatives. Match probable, positive, and negative consequences with each alternative. Identify principles related to each alternative. Rank principles or values at stake and justify priorities as to someone else or publicly. Terry Cooper Decision Making Method. Step 1. Review the facts and get what you need to know. Step 2. Understand roles and values, both your own inclinations and imposed obligations. Step 3. Consider all possible options and possible results. Step 4. Anticipate how you would feel about it and explain your decision. Resolution is reached when we discover an alternative and satisfies our own needs to have sound reason for our conduct and our need to feel satisfied with that decision. Laura Nash presents to managers a decision-making checklist based on 12 questions. Question 1. Have you defined the problem accurately? Question 2. How would you define the problem if you stood on the other side of the fence? Question 3. How did this situation occur in the first place? Question 4. To whom and to what do you give your loyalty as a person and as a member of the corporation? Question 5. What is your intention in making this decision? Question 6. How does this intention compare with the probable results? Question 7. Whom could your decision or action injure? Question 8. Can you discuss the problem with the affected parties before you make your decision? Question 9. Are you confident that your position will be as valid over a period of time as it is now? Question 10. Could you disclose without quorum your decision or action to your boss, your CEO, and the board of directors, your family, or society as a whole? Question 11. What is the symbolic potential of your action if understood or misunderstood? Question 4. Under what conditions would you allow exceptions to your stand? When deciding who is responsible, avoid doing harm. Look at both ends of the spectrum. Rank roles. Who is considered to be the primary aggressor? Rank responsibilities. Who seems to be the person that started the situation, or who seems the person that was reacted because of the situation? Use threshold tests. There are 4 components of the threshold test: a vulnerability, proximity, capability, and dependency. Those 4 objectives are the principles of the threshold test that can assist managers when making a decision of who is responsible. Class, I know my presentation was short, but it contained a lot of information. As a result, I have 2 discussion questions for you. In a professional setting, have you ever been on the other end of the spectrum where a decision was made unethical? Please explain the decision and why do you feel it was unethical? Question 2. After reviewing the information, do you see the importance of having ethical simulations for managers? Because although these individuals are in a management position, sometimes they tend to use their personal perspective and personal views when making decisions in regards to their employees. Have a good night, you all. I am sick. I sound a little stuffy, but I hope you all enjoyed my presentation. Good night.